Okay, so they start with the Lycan ban. We were talking about how they needed to ban the Chen +1.
So the Shadow Fiend is out there. The Venge is out there. Secret will have the first pick.
I think the Lycan ban is clever in this situation because you don't want to be in a situation where you leave both Axe and Lycan, because if Secret can take both, they will take both. And if they can't, they will at least draw the Axe first, making the Lycan a very less enticing pick for you. So if you have to ban someone of those, Lycan ban is okay.
So what if Secret go X first? How do you reply if you're IG?
You get the Shadow Fiend.
Okay.
I would say, even though they're kind of good against each other, but you just don't want to give Secret Axe plus Shadow Fiend. I think they're gonna ban out Tide.
Huh.
I still think you ban the Chen. Honestly, I think it's the best approach. Or you keep Chen in the pool, and now you give Secret the first pick, because I don't think Secret will overall first pick the Chen. And if they do, you get Axe plus Shadow Fiend. So if you leave all those three in, you'll get 2 of them for 1, and then you now probably ban out. Yeah, what do you need to ban out then? Then it's kind of open, I would say.
Yeah.
They're gonna ban Axe.
Okay, so now
I think
the Shadow Fiend
Shadow Fiend
and
first.
the Chen are open.
Shadow Fiend,
They'll take Shadow
they'll probably take Shadow Fiend as their opener. It's more flexible that way.
Is there anything IG can do to dominate the Shadow Fiend? The 430 used to be known for his lane dominators. TA, Queen of Pain.
Queen of Pain did
Queen of
very
Pain.
well in this
Chen Quap will be
metagame.
nice. I like that.
Yeah, I feel like they have to, if they want to go that way, they have to take the Chen, because otherwise Puppy will just babysit Arteezy with his creeps mid.
This has to be the plan. Like, I would be extremely surprised if they give away Chen Shadow Fiend. Not that it's an uncounterable strategy, but it's the best one Secret have played.
They've played
We
it like
saw-
11 times now, right?
And in the last game, IG, I feel like, would have had an easier time against that counter strat, and they still got ran over. There was no Chen in that game. There was an Enigma who kind of did the same as Chen, just a little bit slower, in a way. So the black holes weren't even needed either.
Something that I think IG exclusively were doing, I don't remember any other team doing it, but they picked 4 times in the tournament Slardar, particularly against heroes like Shadow Fiend. Not going for the lane domination, of course, but rather with the ability to just 3-4 shot the hero, and with a lot of physical damage to go through BKB, and it's pretty cool. Do you see IG going, not of course in the first 2 picks, but maybe bringing the Slardar against Secret?
Then I think they could go Ember. Because the type of game Slardar would work for would be the type of game Ember would work for. Maybe they could get them together. I don't see that much synergy, though.
Oh, hello.
Okay, overlays.
We've
Hello, that's us!
Okay, production.
producer drunk.
Fire K-pop. But the IG, they have 2 picks, and it's important. This we can't emphasize enough how important the second pick has it with these.
And they are feeling it, man.
There's the Quap.
Yeah, that's
Quap-
a counter.
Quap
That's 1
Chen.
out of 2.
Quap Chen. Yeah.
Boom! Got
Oh.
him! Good decision, IG.
Man, we should be
Very
pro
nice.
players.
Now
Okay.
they're gonna lose.
Here comes Venge or Rubik for Secret. Or they already tried to go for the Brute, which I think is very greedy. But Axe is out, they get to ban after it, and Chen is one of the supports for IG.
What about
So
the
he already
Bristle?
knows that. What's that?
What about bringing the Bristle right
Bristle is also a decent choice.
Brood Mother would actually be much better.
I think
because-
Brood is powerful
yeah,
here.
because, like what Sin said, you have a jungler that doesn't help out so early, and against a dual lane with Brood, it forces IG to focus on actually the safe lane, and Shadow Fiend has a much better time. It's harder for the Chen to gank the Shadow Fiend then.
now? Can you safe lane the Queen of Pain against the Brood?
No.
Not without help.
Okay.
So it's
50-50. Bruno got us. Got him.
We should draft together.
I
Sam.
think this is... I think IG are in a better spot because of the Bristle pick instead of Brood, because this is going to be easier for them to counter out in lane. Now Chen doesn't necessarily need to get active. I think if it would have been Brood,
10 seconds.
I think IG would have kind of struggled to make the space with Chen they would want early on. But so what do you ban now? Let's have a look at that. This is where Secret do not have their Quap, so they would
Reserve time.
preferably play a Puck on S4. What has he played in this tournament? I remember
Storm.
Quap, Puck, Storm, Shadow Fiend, and Axe.
Yeah.
Those 5 heroes.
And he
Anything
played the
else?
Bristle once or twice,
And
but they
Bristle,
already have
okay.
the hero, so.
Yeah. So that's the possibility that they do that.
He definitely needs to play a hero that can gank. Storm would be the hero that can gank and farm at the same time, so he'll be like a hybrid type of hero, which might be greedy because you have Bristle and Shadow Fiend, so Puck would probably be what you want to have at this point, but he's not so strong in the laning
He's
phase. Yeah, Storm is much stronger to kill the lane. But IG is going to look to take out the Puck because as for that's one of his best heroes.
And this is generally how it goes for Secret. They will always get at least one tempo controller with
So you
between S4 and Zai.
you basically want to look to, if you're IG, you basically want to look to ban the strongest of the tempo controllers,
Yeah.
and
Right.
Puck Storm seems like the strongest tool in this game.
Is it warranted to take a Rubik for Team Secret right now just because of the fact that you have Queen of Pain?
Venge would be more.
Venge,
I think
they
took
banned
out the
Banned already.
They
yeah,
banned
they
Venge
took out the
themselves,
Venge, so
which I found interesting.
Witch Doctor is an option versus the Chen creeps. We've seen a lot of teams do that. It's not really as
Crystal
popular for
Maiden.
Secret.
I think Crystal Maiden would be fine because
But will Secret do that?
he
They
can.
ban Nyx.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
Well, what are they
that's-
setting up for here?
that's
Is this a
one of the-
Medusa pick?
that's one
They're
of the
picking
heroes.
Storm then. Else I do not understand.
No, it
this.
could be a Medusa.
Yeah.
Medusa.
Could it be the Medusa for IG?
Then I think Storm is such a good pick already for Secret that even if they want to go Dusa, I think Storm would have been scarier than Nyx.
It's like S4 had a really good Nyx game, but is Nyx really that strong, or did S4 just have a really good game? I feel like unless you have something that the
Oh,
Nyx
oh.
counters,
Oh,
Well, he's good too.
There-
It's
there is
maybe it's
also-
not that easy to call.
there is also the possibility, since you have Shadowfin with such high armor and Bristleback, which is essentially tanky, maybe of IG going for a Ferrari, a Ferrari OD,
OD.
and
I was
having
thinking,
Queen of Pain.
as soon as you start to build up, like, that's one way to go. But the Witch Doctor would be taken by IG, so they build up their heal. Secret maybe start to think about Ancient Apparition as a possible support, seeing some potential push here, but I don't think it's something they would go for just yet.
Yeah, they need some lockdown.
Yeah.
Maybe the
need some
Rubik
sort of
now,
control.
and you can see
Lion.
about
Maybe
Yeah.
Lion would also be something
a
that.
bit weaker versus the push, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's a support that can actually gank the Quap alone.
That's
Most
true.
supports can't actually do that.
And Rubik can't do that early on.
But I
that's
think
for sure.
we might see IG safe laning the Queen of Pain though.
And run something else mid. I agree.
Secret, Team Secret style. I think that might be a better choice overall. Although the merit to putting Queen of Pain mid is that she beats Shadow Fiend, probably
Yep.
if she plays really well. There's a Chen that can help out. Even the Witch Doctor is fairly good at ganking mid. It's generally in mid lane you get some pretty good opportunities to land
Oh.
the cask. Oh, interesting. We're
It's a
gonna
Puppy
get
Shaker.
Earth Shaker. Is that the first time they pick that this tournament?
I can check
I'd
right
say
now.
this is
Definitely an unusual support pick for them.
Earthshaker works very well with Bristleback.
I
in the
haven't seen them
fights,
pick in the last
and
10 games.
It's very good against the Chen creeps as well, and he's one of the heroes like you mentioned. Sometimes in fights, the Witch Doctor goes for a very long ultimate, and he's the hero that can actually reach the Witch Doctor from a far range.
And they had no stuns up until now. So
Okay. Now we need to see why they banned Nyx. That has
Yeah.
to be this pick. It's OD, or it's Storm, or it's Dusa. One of those three, I would say. Dusa will be really difficult for Secret to deal with. They have good single target damage in Shadow Fiend, but apart from that, really spread damage
Yeah,
oriented.
it feels like a Dusa that they actually want to
Yeah.
go for that type of hero.
it goes best with the Witch Doctor ulti. I think it's
Uh-huh.
Dusa as well. If they want to go Storm, there's no one else to really start the fight. So it has to be Storm going in right now, and that's just very awkward.
Storm
for the
is
draft.
very risky though, because they need
Yeah.
someone that deals physical damage at the same
Yep.
time.
Doom. That
Okay,
was
is
well
it-
good against Bristleback, I guess, if you get eggs. But do you pick the Doom here?
Okay, so
Interesting.
now I don't understand the Nyx ban, or I understand it even less, because I think that ban would have been targeted at setting themselves up. Sure, he's good against Chen and he's good against Queen of Pain. He's not outstanding though. He's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
He's outstanding against Medusa, and he is also. I also want to say he's outstanding against Storm because of how you can carapace into stun into burn, and then you probably have the kill. But
They,
they
really
didn't
valued this
want
Doom.
They didn't want anything that the Nyx countered. I don't feel like he's particularly good against Witch Doctor or Doom. Or sure, he's good against Witch Doctor. He's good against like every support.
yeah.
Right.
It
So-
just feels that they are banning out what Secret does put on the safe lane with S4, like tempo control that doesn't require too much farm.
And then the Doom counters the
Oh,
Storm.
wow.
Oh, we talked about the Brood in the first phase as something both teams might be thinking
Safe
about.
lane Bristleback.
So, no, S4 Bristleback
yeah,
and safe lane.
Bristleback.
And then the Zai Brood in the off lane.
That was probably the best hero in the pool, Secret. could.
Yes.
This is a really big problem. for
Cask
IG.
is not good against this. Doom is not very good against this.
They have no counter.
They have no counter. If they go Medusa, they're going to lose before Medusa can come online. OD is horrible against push.
They
In general.
ban Dazzle.
Van Dazzle? I think this is Rubik time for Secret, probably. He's
It does feel like they want a support that has more control because they still only have Earthshaker for
Yeah,
that.
the one thing about Rubik Shaker together is their damage output as a support duo is really low on the early levels, but their control is phenomenal.
Ancient Apparition is also an option still, I think.
That is true.
For Secret, you mean, yeah.
Yeah, for Secret.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
could go with that. That's true.
Classic support duo, the ESAA. It's not really a Secret hero right now, but
But then, if you do that, Zai's a lot more on his own.
You know,
They really can't help him for much if they go for
Secret
that. They're
has
gonna ban
won.
the Slaughter.
That is respect.
hero that can shut the Brood out of the game if you have a good start.
Secret has won 16 out of 17 games. playing the Ancient Apparition. That is a stat.
What was that? One more time?
16 out of 17 games playing Ancient Apparition in the whole, like, in their existence.
So they do end up going for the Storm.
Secret.
One more time. What did they have?
Secret won 16.
They have 16 out of 17 wins.
Wins with Ancient Apparition.
Okay, so it's 16 and 1 for them. That's
But
that's a
most
good
of those are
score.
with their old roster, right? Not with this.
Yes,
Okay.
but still, it's
True.
the-
So
the
Storm
support
Spirit.
duo.
Now, there isn't much lockdown for him.
Rubik.
Going for the Brood, you have Fissure and maybe an Orchid if Brood farms it. That's it. And Storm is not terrible against Spiderlings.
He's a good pick for IG. I thought from the start that they would get it in the second phase, either him or Dusa. So I agree with this pick. I think it's very solid. He's also perhaps going to be safe laning because he probably does the best out of
Okay,
any of
The
the
Remnants
heroes.
are pretty
Yeah.
decent against
Yeah.
the Spiderlings.
Remnant plus the Overload.
Okay, it's going to be the Enigma again. Secret going a little bit greedy. The only support being the Earthshaker, so no range support to zone the offlaner out. Maybe this will be a better game for June on the Doom.
All right, IG has a lot of a better chance in this game than they did in the last one.
I
This is
would.
a
I
way
think
better
it seems like a stronger draft. What do you think, Winter?
Witch Doctor very good against Bristleback, and Doom as well very good against Bristleback. And for the Shadow Fiend, I think the key point of getting him ganks early on, like with the Storm, maybe early level 6 or a smoke rotation from Chen, so that the Quap will actually be dominating the lane. That will be the two key things that we'll be looking for in the game.
I feel like this is the game where we're going to see Arteezy have maybe the least help he's had all tournament, or very close to it. Because generally when they pick like a Shadow Fiend Bristleback, they'll get a puck or something that can tempo control from the offlane.
That's how I feel. That opens up a lot of opportunity for the Chen to actually make a smoke rotation towards the Shadow Fiend.
And they have a hero that in theory can dominate Shadow Fiend. Now in
Yes.
theory, we did see Dendi get solo killed by Shao 8 Shadow Fiend.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that's
there's the potential for misplay here as well.
he made a mistake.
Right,
So
but that
yeah.
can happen.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're going to go into game 2 of IG versus Secret, and as before, we're not going to be casting it. It's going to be Ben Merlini Wu and David Gods Parker. Guys, take us away.
Welcome everybody to game 2 of IG versus Secret. Gods here, joining by Merlini. Secret so far undefeated at the Dota 2 Asia Championship. Is this the draft? Is this the game where they get their first loss?
Looks like a better draft than last game, as our analyst desk was talking about. And I think the Knicks ban is, it's just really good against Quap in general. They didn't even have to set up for Storm, Dusa, but of course the Storm, decent laner versus Brood. We'll see how it works out for them.
Yeah, I wonder how much IG were caught up by surprise by this Brood pick. Generally it's been Zai playing the Brood, but every once in a while it's S4, and they didn't seem too well equipped for handling a Brood. As mentioned, the Chen in the jungle, not really a hero that can offer support, but Storm, not bad. Especially once you get to mid to late game. It's really hard for Brood to be off on your own, kind of pushing out the lanes when you've got a Ball Lightning, maybe a Gem on the Storm, and lots of ways of catching out the Brood with a Storm Ball Lightning.
Slardar and Storm, just two really good heroes at killing the Brood.
All right, well, we'll introduce our two teams here. In Game 2, it's IG trailing 1-0. We're going to have Ferrari 430 on the Storm Spirit, June on the Queen of Pain, Jizbug playing the Witch Doctor, Chuan on the Chen, leaving Luo in the offlane this game on the Doombringer. For their team secret side, Zai going to be on the Broodmother, drops down a Sensual to block the pool cam. Kuro going to be on the Earthshaker. It's going to be Enigma being played by Puppy in the jungle. Arteezy on the Shadow Fiend gets himself a Bounty Rune as well. And finally, S4 on the Bristleback, and be heading towards the top lane. So something we're seeing more and more teams do, which is like have their supports go for the block, and then their mid-hero, Arteezy in this case, actually gets a Bounty Rune. This definitely gives him a nice little boost in the mid lane, a bit of extra gold, gets him a faster bottle, just a faster level 2 as well, and does give him a bit of an edge over the Storm Spirit.
He varies his build a lot, too. Sometimes he goes,
Oh
already.
wow, the courier's right behind as well. Luckily, the courier doesn't get caught out here. Arteezy not throwing out razors just yet. I believe he's gone for the Necromaster, and Ferrari just completely body blocked, only barely survives. If he'd gone razors, that's a first blood.
He usually goes Raze at level 1, and he
Yeah.
also usually does not get a Wraith Bandit to start, so switching things up.
That's actually switching things up, and the one game where they would have got a first blood off of that. That would have been huge if they got that kill. And here comes the Chen support. Wild Wing in the way, and that's going to be a Tornado, giving Arteezy some issues here. He's going to immediately raise up the creep wave and look to just handle it with some just defensive play in the mid lane. For bottom lane, the Brood doing pretty well against the Queen of Pain, Witch Doctor lane. Not much they can do against the Brood for the time being. They actually put the Queen of Pain against the Brood. Do you feel like this is the way to go as opposed to the Storm there?
I mean, I think both of them can do okay. I think Storm fares a little bit better.
Well, rest in peace, Storm Spirit. Arteezy gets the first blood in middle lane. And, well, that just happened. That is not the start you're hoping for if you're IG after going down 1-0 in this best-of-3 series.
The Fissure comes back to bite him in the ass. He wasn't able to top himself off. I didn't actually see that kill, though.
It's alright. Neither did Weppers. As we'll see the Storm Spirit once again come back to mid lane. It feels like Queen of Pain was the more natural mid laner. A slightly better lane dominator against the Shadow Fiend. Also, it feels like Storm is maybe more well-equipped at dealing with Spiderlings compared to a Queen of Pain. So I'm definitely a bit surprised by the way IG
Maybe
have played
June's
this.
not a Storm player. That's also an option.
Yeah. I feel like June, I guess if you wanted June on the quad, maybe even send him mid, even if he's not really normally your mid player. The guy's 8k MMR, he can play any lane. I believe in his mid play.
I believe. He also went for a Shadow Strike build too, against a Brood, which is also a little bit unusual, but it looks like Zai's not able to put out any pressure with the Sentry already out in lane.
Yeah, Zai's just sitting in the side here, looking to use those Spiderlings whenever possible to get him a couple CS here. Actually, last thing, not too bad with him. Has got himself at least a couple of CS here and there. Arteezy at mid almost gets brought down by Ferrari. 20 HP there, as the Magic Stick actually saves his life. He's going to have to go back to base and heal up. We'll buy a TP scroll to get back in. And that gives Earthshaker a bit of XP in this mid lane. So Ferrari almost gets a kill on Arteezy. Very strange, but I mean, I guess the kill on the Storm with the Earthshaker is one thing, but Storm almost getting a kill on Arteezy. That was somewhat unexpected.
Yeah, right before his bottle comes out, he opted for an early Bassi instead of into an Aquila rather than the bottle, even though he had the gold for it. One point in Shadow Strike will prevent Brood from traversing over the trees, though, so I can definitely see the value in that. Although generally you think of Brood requiring a lot of AoE to deal with.
Yeah, Brood already has Soaring, so it feels like all in all, Secret getting a lot more out of these lanes. Just looking at the CS, most of these lanes going really well for them. The Shadow Fiend, the Bristleback getting CS, Brood doing okay in bottom lane, and then you've got the jungler. You've got the Enigma who's going to jungle a lot faster than the Chen. We've already seen Chen sending creeps towards the middle lane. Enigma's the highest hero level in the game. He's hit level 5. Arteezy only just now hits level 5. This is very reminiscent of some past TIs where if you don't pressure and shut down Enigma in the jungle, you're essentially versing an extra core hero on the other team.
His Enigma farms like ridiculously fast. I mean, he usually gets level 6 by 5 minutes. This is going to be even faster than that.
4.5 minutes. I think this camp here will get him his level 6. That is, yeah, that is just absurdly fast. Well, take notes.
Ready for the 4-minute black hole?
Exactly. He's going to be level 6 before Storm is. He can just smoke mid with, pick up his boots in the smoke and go mid and black hole and kill the Storm Spirit. I feel like that's well worth it if he can make a play like that, but for now,
he picks up a smoke.
Yeah, Earthshaker just sitting behind mid lane there, maybe just looking for a kill on Ferrari without something such as a smoke.
Take the wind from their sails.
What's IG's plan here? Because it feels like these lanes are going really poorly for them. All 3 secret core heroes getting farm, and then Enigma is just topping the levels. Mid lane, Ferrari, double raised, and he doesn't oh, he's going to use the tree to block Arteezy. Oh, that looked like a possible kill there on the Storm Spirit, but that single tree fogging Arteezy couldn't get the last right click off that was needed. Nice a kill attempt, but...
Gotta be careful with those tangos.
Yeah, exactly. No, one of those. Yeah, as a mid lane on the Radiant side, you're often like, oh, let's just tango anyways, but any random tree. But he cut down a few too many there.
Also, Luo's getting owned in the off lane. S4's net worth is like 1,000 above the Doom.
Is this a lane that Doom can really do better than this in, or do you feel it's very one-sided?
There's no one helping him out, or no one helping the Bristleback out. It's a Earthshaker and an Enigma. I think if Earthshaker comes, he can just get a TP and TP out.
Oh, Luo.
But he can't put any aggression out in this lane.
Well, Luo very close to a lot of enemy heroes. The fish are going to miss, and that's going to actually save Luo's life probably. Arteezy was rotating, as was the Enigma. But it's IG going for their first gank of the game. They're looking for the Brood. Their Dust is going to be off the mark. The Sentry also off the mark. Zai says that was a bit too easy, and Chizbug is looking dead here. There's too many Spiderlings. That's a huge cluster, but they're not going to go in for the kill. Actually, nope, they are. They're going to go over the trees here. The Nuke Beam gets used as well, and Zai finds a kill at bottom. This is what Broods do best. They love these dual lanes with squishy supports. It's just not much that IG can do.
Yeah, I mean, a good Broodmother player sees opportunities like that, and I mean, it's just so incredibly difficult to deal with a Brood if you don't have a self-sufficient soloer versus it. And I mean, the support's just gunning for kills, but it's nearly impossible without a Storm or a Quap to lead it off.
It's such like a let's hope this works kind of play. Like smoking towards a Brood when Brood has like 500 movement speed and webs is just maybe it works, but chances are it probably doesn't.
Radiant's top tower is
Well,
under attack.
this is going disastrously for IG to say the least here in the early game. 7 minutes in, their T1 tower under pressure. Everyone on the secret side is farming. The only one doing remotely well is this Queen of Pain on the IG safe lane, but even that I feel is just not really enough out for IG here in the early game.
I still think they can maybe put a lot of pressure with Storm and Queen of Pain in the mid game. Their mobility is really, really high, and on top of that, they have the Chen send back for the Storm, so he can make even riskier plays than normal.
Yeah. The Chen Storm works really nicely together. By the way, this does not work really nicely. Luo just runs in, super aggressively trying to keep the T1 tower alive and feeds away a kill. Earthshaker will get the last hit on the T1 tower as Chizbug gets back to safety, but it's just not what they were hoping for. Another big Spiderling army is here. Queen of Pain goes to throw dust and more dust and sentries wasted. They can't get this Brood. This is a lot of money investment, time investment, and Brood is just loving it here in this bottom lane.
Look how far up Arteezy's pushing too, into a Storm. Generally, as a Shadow Fiend, you're like a little bit scared, especially without treads of a Storm solo killing you. But Arteezy's not feeling any pressure at all.
Yeah, I mean, Zai is creating so much space in the bottom lane. S4 creating space in the top lane. And from these heroes' point of view, they're not even looking to create space. They're just looking to farm. They're farming super aggressively in all three lanes just because of how hard to kill all these heroes are. Kuro's done a great job on his Earthshaker, always offering kind of defensive support, and even has managed to find himself some arcane boots.
Luo in a somewhat dangerous position.
Has to, yeah, one fissure followed up by some goose spam could see him going down here. There just isn't really much good TP rotation. The Queen of Pain probably the one hero who's looking like she may be well equipped to deal with the gank. We'll see Chuan walk in. The dust comes out, sees Arteezy as well, but Arteezy going to look to turn and race. They killed the Brood nice and fast, but June, careful not to go down here. Arteezy going to get caught out as well. It's the TPing Storm Spirit. They get both SF and Brood. SF was there trying to use the Brood as bait, but it was IG who had the far superior numbers.
That's a super risky play. I mean, ganking the Brood lane with an Invis.
Chances are that if they have sentries or dust there for the Brood, they're going to have it for the SF.
He was just outside of the sentry range, but still, that's a high risk play from him.
That was a huge pickup for IG. They needed that so badly as well with how this early game has gone. I still feel like they're playing from heavily playing from behind. When Puppy's mech comes up, which is going to do so in the next minute, it's going to be really difficult to defend towers and take objectives. Compare it to Chuan, who's still got a good kind of 6 to 1,000 gold left on his mech. It's going to be tricky to fight into.
Yeah, I think Chuan's Chen hasn't had that much impact either. His net worth is like half of Enigma's right now, which is half. We're talking about half in between junglers at 930. He wasn't able to really control the Shadow Fiend in middle. And of course he doesn't have his mech yet.
S4, one stun. There's going to be a second stun as well. Ferrari has a pull still available. Arteezy comes in, throws a couple of razors. Can they even kill S4? They're going to use the Chen Hand of God here. Storm forced a ball lightning out of there. They just couldn't do enough damage, and the tower gets denied by the Chen. Storm, meanwhile, needs to get out of here. Bottom lane, though, it's a Brood committing suicide. He gets the deny using his Spiderlings on the Shadow Strike. Oh my god, what a disaster for IG. They just can't catch a break here. He kills the Witch Doctor and then denies himself. Like, oh my, Zai is just making plays. He's creating space. That's where I feel like Arteezy doesn't need to go down there when he gets an invis. Just keep on doing your thing in the mid lane. Zai is doing just fine at bottom.
June trying to deal with these Spiderlings, but Queen of Pain takes 2 screams to kill those.
Yeah. Well, Secret now even going to bring the Enigma down bottom lane. With this mech timing, they are ready to make something happen. They're actually pinging out Roshan here, and with a DD rune, they're going to have the Enigma Eidolons as well. Yeah, they can summon some more Eidolons if they need to. Roshan could go down pretty quickly, but here comes IG smoked up, looking to contest this one.
They have really good observer wards around the area. They pretty much have this entire area with vision.
The smoke is going to bypass that for the initial. Arteezy gets out. Oh, they've seen Arteezy now. This is really looking... Well, I don't know about bad. They've got S4, and S4's got a Vanguard here. He's very tanky on this Bristleback. The question is, can Arteezy go for Roshan? Meanwhile, Chuan on the high ground gets caught up by the Zai Brood. Death from above. Chuan may not have arachnophobia before this match, but it's quickly coming upon him. As Secret just going to march forward with the Bristleback. The Sonic Wave goes through, doesn't do enough damage to S4. The mech also healing everyone up. They've also got the bonus armor from this, and IG just getting zoned out. It's the Brood also getting kill after kill. Lures rotate in, doesn't have mana for a Doom. Oh dear. Doom picks up a Midas now, but I think possibly Roshan secured. Maybe Secret going to be a bit antsy about this one and just decide to back off. Nope, they say let's commit to this. Let's go for it. Round 2.
No Quap ult.
They
Doom's
can't go
in no
into the black
position.
hole as well.
Yeah.
Mech will be up soon, so IG just going to look to get a tier 1 tower at mid in exchange, which is probably the best they can get, if that. I don't even know if they're going to kill this tier 1 mid tower in time.
Again, they have superior positioning when fighting at Roshan, which generally doesn't happen. Generally, you're like inside the pit, everyone's clumped up around that area. But since they have vision, they can push out with Bristleback so that the enemy team is actually in this choke point, and then they can wrap around with Broodmother and actually force IG into a terrible position. So even though Secret is attempting Roshan, they're the ones with the upper hand and positioning, and it just comes to show their experience as fighting together as a team.
That was just, yeah, insane, as you said. Even having Zai on the Brood in the Radiant jungle, like on that high ground cliff, solo killing the supports, because that's where the supports want to see. At the back line, just out of trouble, but a Brood just instantly kills them. It was just perfect execution. Secret not missing a beat here in the main event. They were undefeated in the group stage and looking to continue that here. Brood top of the net worth chart with Shadow Fiend and Bristleback shortly behind, and IG's draft just not getting the job done.
Too many summons to deal with. And generally against a Brood, you want 2 heroes, I would say, that can be on dedicated Brood duty. And Storm Spirit doesn't quite fit that bill because he can't one-shot the Broodlings. Neither can Queen of Pain. So, I mean, Brood's just left rampant bottom lane.
And it feels like these Doom picks from IG aren't working out well at all. Doom is not a hero that can do much early on. It feels like Doom is much more like a late game kind of farmer in some ways, where like, sure, your Doom cast time and just the ability to not be able to really solo kill heroes with Doom until you get Ag Scepter really makes Doom kind of a ineffective offlaner compared to like a less farm dependent offlaner. Like we're seeing the Clockworks, the Bat Riders just do a lot more in general.
I mean, I guess they wanted a solution to, I don't know, some of these BKB heroes, but it hasn't even gotten to that
smoke
point.
from behind. They're going to catch out Chizbug first. The Sonic Wave doesn't really even do much damage here with the mech from Puppey negating most of it. They kill off the Witch Doctor. They want more though. Ferrari's invis in the side. Doom onto S4, but that's really a non-factor for the tanky Bristleback.
There is a Sentry Ward placed.
They see Ferrari. Question is, can they lock him down? Arteezy's pretending he hasn't been spotted. They're going to Fission now, turn and raise him, force him out of the invis, but
I thought they were going to Black Hole him.
Yeah, as did I. I saw Puppey like winding up his arms, but no. If he was closer, and I imagine they would have used it for the solo kill. Bottom lane, by the way, Chuan looking mighty, mighty dead. One more nuke in 2 seconds here. Chuan goes down. They're going to use the Witch Doctor ultimate. Zai needs to get out of this vision here. He's going to go down, it looks like. One last Witch Doctor death ward hit, and just barely they kill the Brood there. Not quite worth it in the end for him. Nice Sentry Ward behind the tier 2 tower. I think Brood thought he could get out of range of the tower, but the Sentry was there as well.
However, it will not come for free.
Brood, it's a big kind of rubber band effect where you've got a 7k net worth Brood giving away a kill, but at the end of the day, that rubber band exists because Secret is so far ahead. Getting a tier 2 tower and a support kill in exchange for the Brood seems perfectly reasonable for the Secret squad right now.
And now that he is an Orchid, like these heroes that should be able to somewhat deal with the Brood just can't. Like Queen of Pain and Storm Spirit with no items, no Orchid up on Queen of Pain. She doesn't even have her second Oblivion Staff. Storm Spirit, not even one Oblivion Staff completed. Like, forget about your BKBs. Their Orchids aren't even going to be online.
At this point, Ferrari may just have to go a different direction. I would even like say something like a Yule Scepter just to get out of the Orchid if you're worried about getting silenced and killed. They're losing the entire Chen Creep army as the Enigma invades the Radiant jungle with the Earthshaker, and
they might have to rush BKB because of the Yule Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many things that they can't deal with right now. How are they going to kill Bristle if they build defensive items?
Well, this is worrisome. Secret now looking to go from tower to tower. 16 minutes in. This is looking even more one-sided than game 1 at this point. Secret just running, well, the IG running out of options. Secret just, this lean, mean killing machine. Plowing down through the IG towers. Only one tier 2 tower remains at the bottom lane, and I imagine Brood will make short work of that one.
Again, they have the right mix of items. Of course, Enigma getting the mech as usual. Mech, I think, a very often overlooked item in this particular patch. 225 mana, definitely worth it. On top of that, they always have Aquila/Basilius on their team too to make these push a little bit easier. This time it is on the Shadow Fiend instead of their safe laner. Just always a good spread of items.
And Secret are just playing so greedy while this far ahead. I think Puppey's farming super aggressively in the Radiant jungle. You've got Brood at the bottom lane. You have Heroes top, Heroes mid. Meanwhile, IG have to group up. Chen's still looking to just rebuild his neutral army. IG just getting nothing out of the map. Brood also picks up a Blink Dagger now, something you don't normally see on a Brood, but considering his start and how much this could maybe help him initiate or even get out of ganks, a nice little pickup nonetheless.
Yeah, I like Blink Broods actually. I mean, Blink is just so good on this.
Oh, top lane, TZ winds up. He doesn't get enough damage to kill off June, and he's going to get killed in return. No! Storm may have killed TZ, but he died for it. June did survive the combo from the Shadow Fiend. Not high enough level on that Requiem of Souls. As we'll see a Blink Dagger now purchased by both Shadow Fiend and Earthshaker. Your hard support Earthshaker, 17 minutes in, has a Blink Dagger with his Arcane Boots. I think you'll be pretty pleased if you're Secret. Even more pleased by this 12,000 net worth lead.
Chen Army plus Echo Slam.
It's looking pretty tasty for an Earthshaker game.
And Bristle has 1750 HP. You're just going mass HP with Treads and Sange and the Vanguard.
That's why these, even if IG go these more offensive items like Orchids, Bristleback doesn't care if he gets silenced too much. He just is going to tank it up with the damage block from the Vanguard and just in general being really tanky. Top lane, Lua. Uh-oh, he's getting caught up by the Yules here, and well, we'll see support coming in from Puppey. He's not going to get close enough for the Malefice immediately. Lua's on the run, Earthshaker nearby though. We'll be able to blink Fissure to probably cancel this TP. What's Lua going to look to do? He blinks into the trees. Is there a Fissure? He's going to hit it. Lua gets caught out. They just need to get in there now. Another blink coming up in 5 seconds. They can't actually break through. Lua's going to blink again soon, but he's got no TP end of the day. Blinks to the west. And it looks like he's just going to be left there. End of the day, you canceled his TP, and you're pretty pleased that he's completely stuck in that top lane, and you can go start taking objectives. Dust not going to catch him out immediately. He's on the high ground. He blinks away. Oh, that Blink Dagger already paying for itself.
Secret's just farming everywhere. S4 in the enemy Ancients. The enemy jungle being taken over. IG, they're struggling to get kills, they're struggling to get farm, they don't have any towers down, they have no Roshan control, and they also don't have that great late game.
They only just now got a 19-minute mech on your Chen. His net worth, well, even below half of the well below half of the Enigmas. They're going to smoke, and it looks like that was, well, around that top cliff. That's just a Dire Sentry, I believe. Okay, so, we'll see what Secret look to do from this one as they make their move down towards the bottom lane. And IG, well, Chuan completely unaware, gets Fissure block, will get brought down with ease. Nothing he can do about that. And they're going to lose the Chen creeps as well. This is just looking like game over. They can just go high ground off of this. IG, high ground defense is not the best. Just the Queen of Pain, and there's mech. There's all kinds of items coming out on the Secret side. They are just all so damn tanky. Fissure waiting for the Queen of Pain to land, and they're going to blink in the Earthshaker. Kuro goes for the Echo Slam. Ferrari not going to get brought down. Puppey had the black hole, didn't go for it. Buyback now from your Queen of Pain. Tier 3 tower taking heavy damage. The Midnight Pulse is going to also deter IG from going in. Glyph now used, but to what avail? It's a full-on defense here as the cast will bounce around. They're going to need a bit more than coconuts to turn this game around. Great Yule Scepter. He doesn't get off the Doom. Now he's going to Fissure block the high ground. Lewis trapped on the low ground. The Death Ward from above, though. Ferrari going to get brought down by a Brood. The Orchid with the insatiable hunger. Secret are hungry for one thing, and that's a Game 2 victory here in this best of 3 as they're looking fantastic to take it. The mech from Puppey coming soon once this Doom wears off. We'll pop it immediately, and this Tier 3 tower looking in bad shape as the coconuts come out once more, but these are not knocking on anyone's heads here as Secret going to keep on bashing away at these racks at bottom lane, and there's just nothing IG can do except watch the bottom lane fall.
That was a great use by Urquizy. Great reflexes, and of course Kuro with that sick block, just making it a 5v2. I guess maybe a 4v2 because one guy's doomed. But
it did help that Witch Doctor could drop the Death Ward and not get it cancelled, but they were so tanky. It's a Bristleback, you've got a mech, well I guess the mech wasn't used from Enigma, but Secret could easily just kind of back away from it.
And easy racks. Secret just another day in the office.
Yep. Roshan once again available for them, so yeah, this definitely just feels like Secret doing the business right now. Nothing much to it. A slightly different draft, I'd say, this game in some ways. We haven't seen that much of the Earthshaker from them. The Brood, this is only, I think, the second or third time this tournament, but something that teams are going to be increasingly aware of. Much like when you go up against Vici Gaming, those second stage Brood bans are very common. I feel like teams are going to have to start doing the same against Secret unless they have a lineup that can actually deal with a Brood in lane.
Yep, one defensive support, one greedy support, self-sufficient solo laners. Recipe for success. And of course a lineup that can easily do Roshan.
Yeah. Well, Secret going to take Aegis and probably look for another lane shortly after. Shadow Fiend picks it up, going for a Shadow Blade. Screw BKB, he says, and not. I mean, BKB useful against these Quap and Storm type heroes, especially if they get Orchid, but neither of them. Okay, Quap has an Orchid, Storm does not. These Orchids are just coming way too late, and I feel like aren't going to do anything. Uh-oh, Luo in trouble. He's going to get Requiem to the mid lane. Razors to follow. Easy pickoff. And now the push comes. Multiple heroes down the mid lane. Brood in the bottom lane. They're going to ignore the push up top from the Quap and the Storm. Brood even has a BKB back at base, and oh, bottom lane. Brood wants to go in, has found Chuan, but won't actually get the initiation he was after there. The Earthshaker sitting behind him, but space created for this mid lane pushes. Teasy and Puppey going to start whacking away on this tier 3 tower. Spiderling's coming as well, and the AoE damage is only really there from a Queen of Pain Sonic Wave from a 5. Queen of Pain gets close for a scream, will get brought down. Arteezy blinks into a cast. That is not the blink you were looking for, Artur. He screws over Kuroki, but it's still looking okay for Secret. BKB from Puppey goes walking in, solo Black Hole on Chizbug. Why the hell not? You've got the game secured, and they're going to look to go out. Well, I don't know about in style, but at least using some of their spells. First Black Hole of the game from Puppey. Arteezy's blink to kill off Kuro, though, that was, well, I guess the comic relief, which this game was kind of lacking with how one-sided it's been. 3 dead, and IG will GG out. Just complete stomp here. Secret looking like they're just multiple levels above IG right now.
I keep bulldozing. That's an ugly, ugly game.
I thought this series would be closer. You know, IG, one of those teams, they've got some veteran players. You've got Chuan, who played on Chuan as well as Ferrari, who played on that TI2 winning team. They had the full, like, they had multiple days to prepare for this series. They can watch the match footage on Secret. They kind of had a good idea of what Secret were going to pick, but nothing came together.
I feel like
really
their openers were okay, but they're drafting very heavily to counter Secret as opposed to drafting for their own playstyle.
Yeah.
And it just, you know, with this sort of draft, you have to put on the screws 10 minutes in, and they just never got any pressure out on the map.
It feels like you say, normally I feel like when IG have done best, they've drafted to their own style, played aggressive. The analysts talked about like the Mirana Shadow Demon type combos, because no aggression against an Enigma in jungle. It's like, okay, we're going to take your Chen, and that was it. There was no follow-up plan. It was like, let's take your Chen so they get Enigma. And Secret's like, cool, we get Enigma. We farm faster with Enigma. So yeah. In some ways, the Enigma worked out better than having the Chen for Secret in this series, I think. So.
And Shadow Fiend was also left uncontested. The supports were just so busy dealing with the Brood the entire time.
Well, with that, it's a Game 2 victory, 2-0 stomp for Secret. They don't waste much time. But we're going to go back to the analysts before we go into our next series. They're going to break down this series, and, well, I just want to know, what do you do to beat Team Secret? That's really what it comes down to. So take it away, analysts. Let's hear what you have to say.
Thank you, David, and we're back at the panel. Well, if Game 1 was a stomp, Game 2 was a stomper.
You need better material.